Welcome to Community Connect. Here we are again with my co-host, Sarissa Petrell. How are you doing?
I'm just fine. How about yourself?
Awesome, I'm
You
good.
look great
Oh, well,
today.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know that we were supposed to wear purple today, but you decided that you were not going to wear purple.
She called
for
me
some
out.
reason.
Yeah, I didn't wear purple. I thought this was close to purple, but
That's okay.
Sorry.
You knew I was going to do it.
Yes.
So that's all right. So today here we are at Community Connect, and we are talking about our fight against poverty. And that's what we are in this year. We are doing whatever we can at the Community Council to help people transition out of poverty. We are moving families forward, and we're leaving poverty behind. We have an exciting show today because we have some guests that were, I guess, former students that have gone through the SkillQuest program that is part of Community Council. So, Sarissa, tell me a little bit about SkillQuest.
SkillQuest is awesome. It allows, and our past students can correct me if I'm wrong, SkillQuest is all about providing that extra level of support when individuals are trying to strive for a better education. And when we hit those rough patches and you turn around and you need a little help, either financially or just someone to lean on and help you in the right direction through the course of your studies, SkillQuest is that upper hand that is just allows a person to continue their education with less stress.
Awesome. So today I'd like to introduce you to our guests. We have Lauren and Rosemary. So we have Lauren, who is right next to me here, and she was one of the original graduates from SkillQuest.
OG.
What year was that?
To December 2012.
That is nice. And Rosemary, you graduated a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, I'm a recent
Congratulations.
graduate. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Congratulations, both of you.
I'm going to clap for myself.
Yes.
That was really hard.
Yes.
But yeah, so about 2 weeks ago, I graduated from nursing school at Mountain View College. Yes.
Nice. So what are your plans now?
I'm going to take my NCLEX because everybody knows that as soon as you're done with school, that's your first huge obstacle. Once I'm done with that, I'll be working with my friend Angie at Angel Wings. It's a home health agency. Yes.
So for people that aren't nursing aficionados, so what does the NCLEX mean?
The NCLEX is your state board. So for you to be a registered nurse, you have to take this this huge. Well, for us, it's a huge test. Like everything boils down to this one test. So once you take this test, you could officially call yourself a registered nurse.
Oh,
That
okay.
sounds nice. And so Lauren, what are you doing now?
Well, now I am working for Texas Oncology. I'm a vision room supervisor.
Nice.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I've been with the company about 5 years and new to this role the past 4 months.
Wow.
Nice.
Fresh.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So today we would like to kind of talk about your story, like how the community council got involved, how you came to SkillQuest, and what we can do in the future to help others like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, SkillQuest is a major part of who I am now, because if it was not for SkillQuest helping me, there were many times where I would not have been able to pay for the tuition, for the books, for ATI, which any nurse now knows about ATI, and it's a ridiculous amount of money we have to pay. And when you're a single mom with a 3-year-old at home and no money coming in for things like that, it was a huge obstacle that SkillQuest was able to help me with. Yes.
Nice. So SkillQuest comes in and you meet with a counselor, and then what happens?
You come in and you talk to the counselor and you just tell them your story. You go in there anyway. It does not matter if you feel like you're not going to be accepted or anything like that. You talk to them. You give them a story, your story, and every story is different. So they listen to you and they try to find a way to help you. There's no yes or no. There's no perfect answer for them. Everything goes by your story. So even if you don't feel like you'll be accepted by them, go in there, they'll accept you with open arms. Now, if they can give you money or not, that's a different story. But just go in there. The worst you can ever hear is no. And in nursing school, you hear no all the time. You just figure out a different way to get it.
Amen. That's good. That's good.
So, Lauren, how about you?
Well, Skill Quest helped me pretty much the same way, like Rosemary. I was recently separated. I had 5 children, ages 9 and under. And I can't tell my story without mentioning Skill Quest, because had it not been for Skill Quest, paying for the tuition, the books, supplies, these, nursing packets, whatnot, testing fees.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, being with Skill Quest, they connected me to, programs that help with daycare assistance, those types of things that allowed me to focus on school. I always said that my school was my job, and I'd go to school Monday through Friday. I'd use that time when I was not in class to study, and then I was able to go home and be a mom to my children and be in the home and not have to worry about leaving them with someone or, how I was going to make all that work, because, as Rosemary said, school's hard enough.
Yes, that's important.
So...
It is. School is hard. And I was just telling Sarissa my story about my sister who wanted to be a nurse all her life, and she waited for, circumstances beyond her control, really. And then she went back to school in her 40s, and she had to go to night school. She had a son, and it was really just hard.
Never too late. Never too late.
So you see a lot of our students that come through. So,
absolutely.
They're not, I wouldn't say traditional students. They're not right out of high school sometimes. No. And so, we know life happens.
And what you're studying is like so major, because I hear a lot of the students come through and say that their studies are so critical to the institution that you can't work. You can't pick up outside employment. Can you tell us how you were able to overcome that?
So for me, I used every resource possible, including Skill Quest, because it is, like I said, a huge part of how I was able to succeed. But I used my student loans, I used income tax, I used like the summer to work while I was taking care of my son. Like the entire time you're just trying to find anywhere you can get money. That's just right. To make it through, because at the end of the day, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and even though it's a struggle now, it's not going to be a struggle for the rest of your life. And Skill Quest, if I needed to speak to somebody, I remember in December, I ran out of all the money, and I was like, man, I have to make it to income tax. I just have to make it. So I spoke to Peter, my counselor. He was like, okay, let's see what we can help you with. And you guys helped me with my rent for that month. And it was such a blessing. And again, like I said, I had no money coming in. So you guys helped me with toys for my son. And to this day, he still plays with 2 of the trucks that you guys gave him. Those are his favorite trucks. Do not touch his trucks, apparently.
How were you able to overcome, Lauren, without being able to work?
Well, my ex-husband paid child support, so that was really the main. It was that, and then whatever help I got from Skill Quest, because I didn't work, and that kind of speaks to the demands of nursing school. Yes. You have very little say in, for example, your clinical schedule. The classes that are offered are not. You make it work, or either you don't go to nursing school.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so it is very difficult to work. And for those of us who, have had children and later in life decided to go back to school and, want to be able to, be successful for our own families, for ourselves, it is very difficult. And I can't stress that enough, that I could not have done it without the assistance from Skill Quest.
Right.
I commend both of you.
Absolutely.
I commend you.
So I know, Sarissa, you and I have talked about kind of our own personal stories and how we have, really had to reach out into the community for help. And, Rosemary spoke at graduation, and, 300 people in the room. We were all crying, and I mean, it was just so emotional just to see all those people coming through, getting their dreams to be able to come true. So that's kind of been a passion of mine, because I have had such a, kind of a background. I mean, my mom, she was, definition of dirt poor. She lived in a house that had a dirt floor. You know, she is 94 now, and I have 5 sisters, and she has made sure every one of us has gone to school. Some of us more than others because, you know, you always have that one sister who said no way, but, you know, but she really made sure that education was important to us. And so, you know, it just shouldn't be so hard to start over. So that's my kind of soapbox, I guess. So tell us about you.
Mine was a little bit similar. I lived in a single parent home for about 8 to 9 years, and I was the new kid at school. Every 2-3 months we were moving. Oh, wow. You know, because my mom either, you know, getting evicted, or we just had to move out, or she got a new job. And by the age of 14, I was driving, taking myself and my sister to school with a hardship license, just so my mom could be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. And we had to depend on the village. So that was my aunts, grandma, whoever she can drop me off to at 4 o'clock in the morning so she could be at work at 5. And going to college, I seen my mom struggle trying to make ends meet, trying to send me money for food at school. And I ended up getting a job while I was in college because I got tired of calling home and Mom, I don't have it, call your dad. And Dad is with well, what are you doing with your money? So it was more of, I was able to live on site and go to school. So, and I wasn't studying nursing, so it wasn't as technical as you guys had it. But I do have a question. What 5 years ago, I can imagine myself 5 years ago wondering, what is life and what is this going to come out to? If you could speak to yourself 5 years ago when you were in the struggle of trying to finish school and looking at your goals, all 3 of you, including my boss sitting here, what would you say to yourself 5 years ago? And now that you have succeeded, what would you say then?
I would honestly tell myself to quit my last job sooner, because the reason I stayed so long, and it was a good paying job, but the reason I stayed there so long was because I was trying to make it on my own. I was trying to do everything on my own, and being in nursing, that's just not going to happen. And I was stubborn, and I thought I was going to be able to do it. And I got kicked down. I got kicked down many times. And then one day my stepdad says, you know what? You have to make a change. If you are wanting to succeed, you're going to need help. And it's okay to have help.
That's good.
And when I did that, I just let go of the job that I had. And before I even decided to 100% commit to the nursing program, because I had it in my mind and I wanted to do it, I went ahead and switched over to working at Parkland. And I worked there for about 1.5 years because I needed to know that if I was going to take this jump and this leap and not work and survive on however I could, I needed to know that that's exactly where I wanted to be. And thank God I did it, because I'm not looking back at all.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Nothing is behind you.
So 5 years ago, let me take it back a couple more.
Someone take it on back then.
5 years ago, I was already a nurse. But that's interesting you asked that, because when I started nursing school, like I said, my ex-husband and I got divorced, and I decided it would be best for us to move out of the home, my home, so our home, and move the kids to an apartment. And I remember telling them, and of course it didn't have a washer and dryer and all the conveniences that we were used to. And I remember telling them, it's not always going to be like this. Just, stick with me. There is a plan. There's a goal. There's a destination. And it's been 1 year ago. We bought a home in Richardson.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Children are, doing well. And they can look back. And I still reference that to them frequently. Say, hey, remember, this is not always.
Yeah.
Things can change in a heartbeat.
So that's good. What about you, Ms. Bordner?
Well, I would tell myself really not to sweat the small stuff. And all things are pretty much small things. So I really worried about the wrong things. So I really needed to take a minute and kind of reprioritize what I thought was important. And, people telling me that, why did you choose to be a single mom and a foster mom? Well, you know, just give the kids back and all that kind of stuff. I should not have even bothered to listen to those people. You know, I should have just said, look, this is what I feel as I need to do. This is, you know, something that's important to me. This is, you know, what I want to do with my life. I need you to turn the noise down. But I let it affect me for a while there. And, you know, I just have really learned to just look, quiet the voices, make sure you're on your own path and you do it to the best of your ability, and just try not to sweat all those small things. And it doesn't really matter if people say you can't do it, because they're not doing it for you.
That's right. So now she has to hear all of our voices in her head when we walk in her office with 1,000 problems. But it's so great to know that you, as a managing director of SkillQuest, have your own story and your own obstacles that you have to cross in order to help others that are walking through the door. So I commend you. And 5 years ago, I think I would have said, what I want wants me. And the same thing, quit sweating the small stuff, because I used to let everything get to me. And I think one of my biggest issue was I wanted to work with passion. I didn't want to go to a job just to have a job. I wanted my job to be meaningful and to do something that would enhance my community. So again, as I say in every show, I'm honored to be a part of Community Council of Greater Dallas.
Well, you have to know that Sarissa, she was the first person that I actually met when I got my job at the community council, and she's all bouncy and bubbly, and I am so the opposite. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I can deal with this on a daily basis. But I mean, she really has made everything just so comfortable and pretty fun. Thank you so much for all that you do.
You helped me with my serious side, like, come on, let's get some structure here.
Yeah, we need to do a job. So really back to, why we're here is, so in the community, I know that there's a lot of kind of different resources available and places that you can go. But if you had one thing that you could change in the community to maybe help people, like, single moms like us, and, make it better, what would you do?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to speak for both of us. It's just have more resources for moms that are struggling. It doesn't matter if it's in nursing or anything else in education. As long as we're trying to move forward and better ourselves, better our families and our communities, bring us in with open arms. Give us a little bit more. We don't need much, because single moms, we know how to make it through.
Yes.
But just anything that can help us, even if it's $100, $200, anything that can help with gas, with food, or like me, at the end of the year, I'm running on fumes, because, like I said, I'm working with my student loans and income, and that's it. Like and of course, obviously, you guys, but other than that, it would get a lot more mothers to open up and say, you know what, I can go to school, I can bring my family up, and I can help my community at the same time. Just a little bit of hope. It doesn't even matter where it's coming from, because we'll make it work one way or another. And even if it's not actual funds, gift cards, anything that can help a mother out, or even fathers, because I'm not going to discriminate against, because there are single fathers out there that need help. Anything we'll take with open arms.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, I agree. What's that saying? We rise by lifting others.
Yes.
And when so I can speak personally. When I was brought up, or what's the word? Taken up to the next level, if you will. I'm able to do more for my children, give them better opportunities, and I think then on a higher level, even, and you'll get this when you're with your patients, but just within the past week, I had a patient who said, no one has ever sat down and explained my disease to me.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Wow. So the impact I think that you can have on the broader spectrum, with, like I said, with those patients, with the family, connecting them with social work, connecting, I mean, it trickles down.
It really does.
And so I think, going back to your original question, what can SkillQuest or community service do for single mothers? And I mean, I have to agree with Rosemary. Just accept us and be willing to help, knowing that you're making an investment.
That's right.
And here we are.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, contributing to society.
Absolutely,
and
you are.
and you know, helping our population.
Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Well, if you, of course, we have students to come through the door that are not studying nursing. What do you suggest we do to help those that just want a job? What other resources do you think could be brought to the table to help others that were in your situation that are not studying nursing?
Honestly, I can't really speak for them, but because SkillQuest is so good at hearing someone's story and really listening to them, I feel like you guys would do great things for the people that are coming in, because you're going to say, hey, Mr. Rogers here needs money for books, but we already extended as much as we can. What other options do we have? And you guys are so good at that, that even for me, for example, I'm going for my bachelor's, right? You've already extended to me different scholarships that I can go to. So you guys are already doing a great job. It's just those people, because it is a different story for each person.
Right.
It really does depend on the person and what they're going to need. And I strongly believe that SkillQuest will find a way to help these people whenever they come with their situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the glory of being part of community council, because if SkillQuest cannot do it, then another department in our, you know,
In another department.
in another department can do it. So, I mean, we try to do the whole person, whole family care. So, you know, if somebody comes in and talks to anybody at the council, there's no wrong door.
Right.
I mean, you can come in and you can get whatever help you need. If you are a caregiver of somebody over 60, then we have the Department of Aging. If you just want your GED, we have Opportunity One, which is kind of part of SkillQuest. But you can come in and you can get your GED. You can get, you know,
benefits,
you can get, you can talk to a
Medicaid.
benefits counselor and figure out, you know, what those are. You know, you can do My Ride if you're over 60 and you need a ride to the doctor's
Youth
office.
department for your child after school.
Absolutely. At youth department after school, there are just so many things. We can help in so many ways.
Right. And I don't think, I'm sorry, I don't think the issue is you guys being able to help. It's the people coming in for the
To
help.
know.
Right.
And I feel as though they won't come in because they feel, oh no, they won't understand my situation, or I may be above what they're able to help me with. And that's why I say always go in. Worst thing they could say is no. So you're not worse off than you were already.
That's right.
But the best thing you can say here is yes. And then you get all these opportunities for the help that you actually need.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's a good point.
I can pretty much say that we'll never say no, because if
Never.
we can't do it council wide, then we will find
a way.
somewhere
Make a
else
way.
that can
Yeah.
help. So you know, please come to us for, you know, any kind. So I would like to know. So I'm a single mom, and so my oldest child is 23, and he has grown up, because I've always worked in nonprofit, and so he has grown up in kind of a nonprofit. So he's always kid him, because he's always been like the best volunteer, you know, that wherever I worked has had. So he gets it. He knows that, you know, you need to give back and you need to volunteer. So what kind of message, you know, are you telling your kids about philanthropy and volunteering and, you know, being part of the community?
Well, my son is 3, so he's going to say, no, I don't want to hear what you're saying. But later on, he's going to understand where mommy and he came from. And then that way, he knows that we do need to pay it forward to another family. And it doesn't matter how he helps, but he's going to help.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And as far as me, my kids were young when I went to the program, but I truthfully don't recall talking to them about it when they were younger. But just recently in these days, leading up to this, you know, talk, I've talked to my kids and I said, look at this opportunity, you know, to share my story. Remember I used to tell y'all we were always going to be there? I said, and, you know, and encourage other people. And you could almost feel them being inspired by what I had to say. So, you know, and on a bigger picture too, you know, I just try to drill in their heads, and, you know, be kind. You know, that, and then that just kind of covers a whole lot of, you know, do the right thing and be kind. So that means helping somebody that you see needs help, or, you know someone's needs, once again, lift them up.
Lift them up.
Yeah.
Lift 'em up. I know we've seen your husband at all of our events carrying things and setting up things and building sets and all that kind of stuff. So I know it's in your family as well. So.
Yeah, just pitching in where we can and never watch someone struggle or wait to be asked to give a helping hand. It's not about waiting to ask. It's being a servant at heart. And whether it's with community council skill quest, it's still just being a servant to humans, to others, regardless.
Well, today it is really all about being a servant leader. So we really we encourage everybody to get involved.
Absolutely.
We are asking for anybody to really come and volunteer, be a part of really what this community is all about. Your investment is. It's priceless, really. I mean, there are some statistics we can give you, like for every dollar that you invest, we invest $7 into the community. I mean, look at, the investment that, one scholarship can do. How many people can you help by just coming in and volunteering? And that's okay too if you want to just write a check. We like that
We'll
too.
take those.
But if you would like to be part of an event, if you'd like to come and, really help us mentor folks, whatever you want to do, please connect with somebody in the community, because that's really what we're all about.
Absolutely.
And may I speak to
Sure,
that
absolutely.
about so one of the things that I see just in my practice, I guess, a lot of the younger people coming in, you said, what can we do for non-nurses?
Right.
I feel like maybe just kind of role play even. Learn some professional skills,
Or like interviewing skills.
interviewing
Okay.
Oh,
skills,
skill up boot camp.
customer service,
Yeah, and we do that. We do that as well. So absolutely. So if you want to be a part of that, please let us know. Ladies, this has been like the fastest 30 minutes ever.
Has it been?
I know. I really appreciate both of you for coming in.
And
It has been-
congratulations again and again and again.
Absolutely.
Thank
Rosemary
you,
had us
thank you.
crying at the graduation. I'm about to cry now. It's just ridiculous. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. We encourage you to connect with us, stay connected. So,
At
Social Media Queen.
ccadvance.org, where you can log on to our website and see many upcoming events. One being June 21st, our Steel Toast 2 Stilettos, our women's luncheon, and our upcoming Skill Up boot camps are on the way. And our November 8th, our Fight Against Poverty agency luncheon. We're celebrating 79 years, so log on.
That's right. We are in a fight against poverty. We're trying to put a face on poverty. So it's my face. It's, it could be your face. It could be somebody that you know. So please connect with us and help us in this fight. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again.
Get the next community connect.